Coming up, we're going to talk about why you might want to think about transferring your points versus renting them on this week's episode of The DVC Show. The DVC Show is brought to you by DVCstore.com. You'll save thousands of dollars on your next DVC contract when you let the experts at the DVC Store help welcome you home. Visit them online at www.dvcstore.com or call 1-800-550-6493. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
From the DVC Store, Mr. Jerry Saito.
Hello, good day.
Joining us via Skype, Mr. Pete Scheidley.
Hey, everybody.
And back in the production nook, associate producer, Corey Fiascanaro.
Season's greetings and welcome home.
Really? We're starting with season's greetings already?
Oh, man.
You're very Disney. After all, Halloween happens in August.
Yeah, I mean, in my house, Christmas has already started. The tree is up.
Wow.
Is it really?
The cat is
Holy
playing with the
cow.
ornaments.
What?
And we
The cat is playing with the ornaments. Is that code?
It's a thing.
They could.
It's a cat thing.
I actually, because all my decorations for, which I didn't use this year for Halloween, but all my lights and all my stuff is in a pod that they can deliver to the house, and then I take everything out, set it up, put the boxes back in, they take it back, bring it back. So I always, November 1st is day after Halloween, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And this house explodes with Christmas. And I love the way my house looks at Christmas. And I figure if I'm going to put all that effort into decorating, I want to enjoy it for as long as I can. So it goes up November 1st, probably won't come down till the middle of January.
Yeah.
So I get a good solid 2 months
That's
out of my
awesome.
Christmas decorations. But that's one of the reasons we thought it might be a good idea to talk about, because the holidays are upon us, right? Are coming into it now.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there.
And we talked last month about renting your points. And while that's a great thing to do, and DVC Store can certainly help you with renting out your points, you do wait a while to get you get paid on those, because you got to wait for the person to actually travel, correct?
Right. It's you get paid on the checkout date. So let's say you make a reservation for somebody 5-6 months from now, you receive payment half when we receive it and the other half when they check out. So you're really not going to get full payment till checkout.
But with transferring points, now transferring points obviously takes place between DVC members, and it's you put your points up for transfer, and then another DVC member says, "Hey, I need those points." They can come in and buy them, and that transaction, as Pete's going to tell us in a second, happens very quickly.
Absolutely. So we send out an email update, which is where we post our transfer points. And if you're a member, you're looking to add some extra points on, or you're planning a big trip down the road, and you see a transfer available, you can just call us, email us, say, hey, I want those points, and we can have them put into your account within 24 hours, and then you'd be able to use them for that future reservation. The one thing is if you do have transfer points put in, they're not going to show up on dvcmember.com. You'd have to call member services to use them. But yeah, if you need extra points, you get them right away. And if you're the member who's getting rid of your points, you get paid right away.
And so, Pete, you just did this.
Yeah, so I just purchased a resale contract 2 months ago now, and it had 2019, December 2019 use year points, and I didn't really need the 2019 use year points, so I paid a little more to get those points, and I decided I'd like to get some money back for them because I really didn't want to spend that much extra. So I talked to one of Jerry's coworkers who's been my contact, Scott, and he recommended doing a transfer because they weren't banked points. You can't transfer banked points. You can't transfer borrowed points. So I wanted to sell 120 points, and we went through the process. I contacted him about a week and a half ago about that, and he sent me the documents to fill out. It was about 2 pages of documents. You also have to fill out government document as well, because this is income now, right? That you're getting, so it has to be reported as income. It is taxable for any sales. So I filled those out. My wife and I signed the documents, sent them back in. It took maybe 2 days to confirm with Disney that the points were in the account, and they got posted up on the DVC store site, or on the email. I actually saw it on the email, and it was sold within a couple days. And I haven't received the check yet, but it's already in the mail. I've been just receiving the email this morning, so it's a pretty quick process.
Yeah, but there are some things people need to keep in mind, right, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, again, you'd mentioned you can't do banked or borrowed points. They have to be current points. As far as the points being transferred, again, calling member services to use them is something you can do. Nice thing about transfer points is they are bankable. So if somebody does acquire the points and they don't use them all, you can bank them. They do follow the use year that they're out of. So if you're going to bank them, you just have to follow that banking deadline for that particular package that was transferred in. But again, very nice way to add some points without adding or buying a membership, you know.
The tax thing was interesting to me.
Well, so we send a 1090, or sorry, it's a W-9, which is a tax form, because you know our accounting company is going to send miscellaneous funds to somebody who's renting out their points, so they're going to get a 1099. So yeah, there's a tax. It could be a taxable event because you're getting miscellaneous income, rental income, or whatever. So,
But it's
yeah.
weird because because you paid for that. So that's really interesting to me. I learned something new. I didn't know that.
Right. But you still, so you offset that with your dues. So even though you're making income, you also have to look at it cost you something for those points. So you're not making the, whoops. Oh, I just had a cat incident here. So it's not like that full sales is all income, because it's offset by what you paid for the points.
Maintenance fees.
So.
I do have a question. I don't know if we know the answer to it, though. Does it matter what state you live in?
So if you're within the United States, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
But we don't do transfers for members that are outside the U.S. And because, again, the tax laws, we just don't want to get involved with outside the U.S. tax laws, so we just stick within the United States. But any state, as long as you're a U.S. citizen, have a Social Security number, you can use us.
So, in other words, if they're not Americans, you don't want them. Is that it?
We would love to have them, but we just it becomes difficult.
Yeah, no, it's the laws get dicey when you start dealing with other countries, and we've had that when we've wanted to do certain giveaways, or we want to do certain promotions, and all of a sudden, like I can't actively raise money for Give Kids the World in England, because there are certain laws that it doesn't make any sense for me to have to jump through those hoops. So, there's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, so I understand that it would matter. But
one thing, and actually I think you were kind of hitting on the point, is if you are going to take a transfer, I think now with this Riviera restriction, if you're looking to stay at the Riviera with transfer points, talk to the agent before you do the transfer to make sure that the points were pre-restriction. So just throwing that out there, because I'd hate for you to get points in your account with the intention to stay at a resort you can't stay at. And that's currently the only resort you can't stay at, so with a restriction. So if that's something of interest, just check with us first.
now, am I also correct in understanding that you can only do one transfer a year?
Correct, yep. Just one per year.
One out, one in.
No, just one. Whether it's
No.
in or out.
Oh, okay.
It's
Right.
just
So now I can't
Take one.
get a transfer in on that contract.
Is it per calendar year or
It's per use year.
Use year.
per use year?
Yep.
Okay.
So you could, if you took a 2020, actually you'd have to wait till December, but
Right.
December you could take a transfer in, but it would be for the 2020 allocation. And actually another thing, you
Yeah.
can't borrow transferred points. So if you did take a 2020 transfer, so you've got points being put into your 2020 allocation, You can't borrow them before the use year. You have to use them when the use year
Yeah.
begins or after. So another
Oh.
You can bank them, but you can't borrow them.
correct.
Oh, you can bank them.
Yes.
You can bank the transferred points. The other thing is if you have more than one, let me put it this way, if you own more than one use year contract, so if you have more than one membership number, which I myself have 2 membership numbers. I know, Pete, you must have at least like 3, right?
Don't judge me.
Membership numbers. You can do a transfer for each of those membership numbers per use year. So I have one membership number that actually has 2 contracts in it, but I can only do one transfer for those 2 contracts. But then I have a second membership number, so I could transfer into that other account. It's a little complicated, right?
You just might have given me an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
I'm
And
in
the
the
oth-
I'm in the process of strategizing for Mom's 90th birthday next December, and the number of rooms I have to get, and where I need to take the points from to get what I need to get. It's
Yeah.
And you can transfer between your own memberships too.
but does that count to the one?
It does, yeah.
It would.
In or out. So there are some people that will purchase a resale or a direct, and then they buy resale, and they have 2 different use years or 2 different membership numbers. And a way to combine the points into one is to do that transfer. So, in this case, you're not buying something from us. You're just your own membership. You're just taking points from one account, moving it into another. So that way you're booking out of one account. But that's your transfer out and your transfer in. So just be aware you can do that. It can be a little confusing though.
Jerry, does when you transfer points, if you're transferring it to a different use year account, does it then become that use year?
No, it stays the use year that it originally is. So it doesn't.
But if it's like December, so I have a December use year. If I transferred that to somebody who had a February use year, they would still only be able to use it from December to December?
Correct. And the banking deadline would be July 31st. So that doesn't change either. It all stays under the same December.
Wow.
So
Oh, I've learned a lot in this conversation.
yeah.
Same here.
And for also confusion's points, for more confusion, they don't show up on your online account.
Correct.
The transferred points,
Yep.
correct?
Correct. If you want to use them, you just have to call them, tell member services you have some transferred points. They'll see it in your account, and they'll use those. I believe they'll use those first. So they'll just pull those points. You can tell them what to use. If you have bank points or barred points, you can direct them. But point is, you have to call them, and that's how you would use them. You won't see them online.
Yeah, so you don't see them online. So if you do something like that, you transfer points, you better remember that you did it because you're not going to see
Jamie
them.
from our office transferred points into her account and forgot she had them, and they disappeared. So don't.
Oh wow.
Yeah, don't forget you have transfer points if you take them in your account.
I see. That sounds like something I would do.
Because out of sight, out of mind. You
Yeah,
don't see
yeah.
it. Sure, it'd be so easy to do that. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
So, all right. Well, there you go. So, if so great way to make some money for get some money for the holidays. If you have some points you're not going to use, consider transferring them, and that money turns over pretty quickly. So you can always give Jerry and his friends over at DVC Store a call. Hello, hi, 1-800-550-6493, and they will step you through what Pete is describing as a painless process to transfer your points. So that'll do it for this week's episode of the DVC Show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week. Have a great one, folks.